It's podcast day. It's podcast day. Welcome in. Hey friends, welcome into the heyBrownBerry podcast. It's very nice to be back here with you again. How is your December? I have been lovingly calling this my December downtime, and I'll be honest, I've been looking forward to it since the summer. December is a month where I have decided I will slow down on purpose. I hope it has started out well for you. I am filling each day with little rituals and thought that would be a good time to share them with you because I've started off doing the daily things I plan to do, and that feels good. I'm not going to pressure myself to keep that up for the entire month. I'm really just taking it one day at a time. What about you? Have you started doing anything differently this month? Tell me about it in the comments. I'll just be here for a little bit because I wanted to pop in and share some of the projects, and I want to announce the winner of our sock ruler giveaway. As usual, let's dive right in. Last year, I really enjoyed the process of opening small packages daily. Many people at this time of year in the making community have advent calendars full of luscious goodies. Sometimes yarn, maybe fiber. I know that some people love to do tea and chocolates. Those are two of my favorites. I really like the idea of setting aside time each day and giving myself a little treat. For the past few years, I've done Advent exchanges with friends, and that has meant each day I get time to think about the person who has gifted me little lovely things to use or to enjoy. And last year I actually loved it so much that I wanted to gift myself a small box of goodies. And so I made my own advent calendar, pulling things from my fiber and fabric stash. And in some cases, including tea bags and little treats that I knew could be put away for a year and still enjoyed. Part of the enjoyment of putting together my little personal advent calendar was reusing packaging from goodies I'd received from friends. Some very Christmassy themed fabric wrapped around a mini skein. These cute little bags that I received as part of a tea swap. I found ways to just move around my craft room in the house and package up pieces of fabric, mini skeins of yarn, and other treats. The best part is I have completely forgotten what's in here. So I really am surprising myself each day when I open them. You might consider that. It's a fairly inexpensive way to have your own advent calendar, and a year is a long time, so there's still definitely the surprise element. I thought that what I would do with any of the yarn-related bits in that advent calendar is to start another crochet blanket. I am happily on a crochet blanket kick. I finished a granny square blanket not too long ago and talked about it in previous episodes, and decided that I would start another one this month. It's such a blissfully repetitive pattern that it's very easy to get into a rhythm with it. And this is one of those things that you can find instructions for a granny square quite easily online. So these are two mini skeins that I had put into my advent calendar, and I'm trying to use each one as I open them, put them right in. I've got this beautiful hook from Bee Queen Collection. I'll put their link in the description box under this video. It has a really pretty turned top. It's very nice and light. This is a size 8, an H hook, 5mm. And that's working well, holding my minis doubled. Perfect size. I think it'll make a nice weight in the final blanket. Today I opened up this little bit, which is some Norwegian wool that was gifted to me by Ellie. Ellie is Skeindeer Knits, a pretty well-known designer and friend of mine. And when we were in Edinburgh, I believe it was, she gifted me a couple skeins of this, and I wound some off, and I think it's going to go perfectly into the blanket. Oh, that's the back side, of course, so you can see all my ends to be woven in. Yep. Beautifully coordinated already without planning. So each time I open a package that includes yarn, I pop it into that square. The generosity of makers in this community continuously astounds me, and I don't take that lightly. For someone to get to know you, although it's virtually in many cases, for someone to get to know you enough that they put thought into sending you something that they believe you'll enjoy, I'm just always blown away by that. I love to do that for people. Giving feels good, and so I understand the instinct, but when it is offered to me, I'm still so pleasantly uplifted by it. And Adrian, who hosts the Freakish Lemon podcast, has on more than one occasion been quite generous. And Adrian sent me an advent calendar this year of several mini skeins that he dyed over the course of some natural dye experiments with BFL and cotton, is what I've seen so far, and lots of different plant materials. Natural dyeing is something that's close to my heart. I really enjoy doing it myself. I love the colors it produces, and Adrian has definitely given me quite something by sharing 25 hand-dyed pieces of making goodness. And I wanted to use what I could in a project from this advent calendar and put them together. The thing about natural dyeing is that the colors that are produced quite often go well together, just without much doing. They seem to coordinate, which kind of makes sense. There are so many aesthetically pleasing color combinations in nature. It kind of makes sense that things that are dyed with plants or with food waste, it's probably that they have some similar tone that runs throughout, and so they always look beautiful together. And the mini skeins that I've opened so far, I'm using them in what's called an Espenson. I may be pronouncing that wrong, but I'll make sure I show the name of the pattern and the information. It's a free pattern. I did get it on Ravelry. I'll insert a picture of the finished object here. It's a caftan, and it has the loose drapey shaping that I am looking for, and the sleeves in particular are nice and open, and it's a very simple rectangular knit, stockinette all the way, and it makes for beautiful vertical stripes. So far, I've managed to incorporate the BFL mini skeins from Adrian. Apologies, I am losing stitches. Let's take care of that first. Okay, I've managed to incorporate a few days of the BFL skeins from Adrian, some avocado, some clementine peels, and in between I'm intentionally striping in a main color, I guess a base color that will appear throughout the project. Now this is some wool mill ends that I've had for a long time. This is Deep, Deep Stash, and it's just a very simple cream, which I feel goes beautifully in between the stripes of other colors. So I'm putting it in with a different number of rows each time to vary the thickness of the stripes, and I'm putting it in between. The most recent mini skein I opened from Adrian is a tweed, and I couldn't be more excited about this. Look at that. It's this gorgeous combination of a blue-gray, it almost has a hint of a lavender underneath, and this is black bean dyed. But of course, because it's tweedy, it's just going to give a whole other little pop element to the striping. And like I said, I just feel like these all go together so well. I'm holding these double as well. They've all been fingering weight so far. And the pattern calls for a worsted weight. So I'm doubling it up, which makes each mini skein go by faster. And I do like the fabric that's producing. On a size US 8 5mm needle, there's a bit of give. Not too much spacing, and each one of them is working up perfectly at that gauge. Yummy stuff. Of course, I have another project on the go as well. I've got to go get it. While I do that, enjoy some soothing sounds of rain. This project was completely inspired by the yarn. I didn't plan for it to be a December sort of Advent project at first because I've had this yarn dyed up for quite some time. But again, back to the coordinating colors, the thought of using all of these together has sat with me for a long time. I've got this gorgeous basket of goodness. I've even kind of decorated it for the holiday with that tiny little ribbon. Simple but effective. This is another heartfelt bit of generosity from Rachel, who is the dyer behind On the Round Yarns. Rachel gifted this to me soon after we met in person at Rhinebeck in 2019. Because I was really on a kick with natural dyeing and just enjoying the process so much. I couldn't get enough of it, and she really wanted to support that. So she sent me 18 50-gram skeins of this wool, cotton, linen, soy blend. And it's a very squishy yarn. It was such a pleasure to dye. I had a really good time combining different dye materials and mordants and modifiers. I've got lichen in here, lichen dye that was part of an exhaust bath. And the base color of the yarn was like a creamy, like a buttery creamy color. It was not a pure white. And you can still see some of that heathered throughout the different colors. This one was dyed with Kutch, and I actually modified it with some soda ash and hydrogen peroxide. And the shades are all over the place. This is dyed with wild coffee from my yard. It's one of the plants that grows really well here, a native to Florida. So I used wild coffee roots and berries on this one, and I modified it with vinegar, so a little acid touch. They're just very pleasing to look at, and so that's what I've been doing for months, is just staring at them in this basket before deciding to use them. Finally found a project I thought would work well. I'm going to make this cardigan from the Simple Crochet book that's been sitting on my shelf for quite a long time. It's so satisfying to use patterns and materials that you've had sitting around for an extended period of time. It's like they're finally being brought into the light. The cardigan is a very straightforward single crochet cardigan knit in crochet in rows, and I have begun with one panel. What I love about this is because I have so much of this yarn, again, I can vary the vertical stripes to my liking. I'm splitting each skein into two, so about 25 grams per skein, and then I can decide if I want to use the whole thing or part of it, or even, you know, a whole 50 grams of a certain color. Very organically developing this. This is the left side. Yeah, that's the right side I'm showing. And it's done in one piece. So you're knitting the side, the back, the other side, and then you put this, you do the sleeves. So the body is done in one piece, and then you make the sleeves and attach them, and there's also a nice collar on it. So just looking at the basket, I know that all the colors will work well together. I'm pretty happy with the fabric that it's creating. I have to say that probably because of when this book was published, the sizing in the pattern is not too extensive. I think the largest bust size, finished size, was 45.5, something like that. And so what I did is I actually upped my hook size. I'm using an eye hook, a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook, to get a bigger gauge, and which will give me a bit more room, which I'll need. It's also a zippered cardigan, and I'm not sure if I'll do the zipper or not. That might be a fun sewing challenge. I'm not going to decide that until the whole thing is put together, and I'll see if I want or need a zipper on it. If I put a zipper on it, it'll be more like a jacket, a zip-up jacket. So deal with that when I get to it. And one last item that I'm working on here and there. It's not daily yet, but I wanted to give it a try because it was in the advent calendar I made for myself. It's this embroidery project. Now, this gorgeous butterfly design it came on this bag, this little drawstring pouch, and it was a purchase I made from Provenance Craft Co. some time ago. And Faye has a really good selection of designs and linen thread sets to go with them. And I have not done any kind of embroidery like this before. And I love the idea of using thread to fill in spaces in an existing design or pattern. And so I've just put this into the hoop so that I can stitch away on it. I'm really enjoying it. I like the fact that I haven't, you know, overwhelmed myself just yet. I do a little bit on whichever project I put my hand on for the day, and that's very enjoyable because each little bit shows progress. I chose the Jaipur linen thread set. You can see that. And I chose it because of these gorgeous jewel tones. This is right in my preferred color family. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fill in some of these tinier spaces with thread. I haven't tried yet, so I'm not giving up on that idea. But my friend Katie suggested, well, she actually said if it were her, she would get some paint out, some fabric-friendly paint, And I think some paint would look great on there, filling in the tinier lines. What do you guys think? Thread, paint, combination of the two? Might be beautiful. None of this is allowed to have any pressure, no deadlines, no expectations. Really, the plan is to work organically, to work on them when I feel like it, to spend time remembering what I love about creating things with color and string and fabric and yarn. I'm so grateful to all the makers that have made these projects possible, because to me it's like having them here. That is really all I wanted to pop in and share with you. The next thing you'll see is I will be drawing for 2 winners for the sock ruler giveaway. Let me show you what they're going to win. Denise Ilmanin, who's founder and CEO of the Sock Ruler Company. She provided me with these amazing prizes to offer. And so those of you who watched the last episode, you have already entered by this point. Let's see who these 2 sock rulers are going out to. We have a winner. Our first winner of the sock ruler is Doris Beers. Doris's comment says, I am a sock knitter and think the sock ruler would be amazing. I've been knitting socks for a couple of years and I am at the point where I would like to try some color work. You have inspired me. Oh, thanks, Doris. Congratulations. Please reach out to me at heyBrownBerry@gmail.com so I can get your mailing address to send your sock ruler. I'm excited to give it to you. All right, let's pick another winner. Our second winner is Christine Gates. Congratulations, Christine. Christine's comment says, I started my sock journey with yoga socks. I was terrified of heels and toes. I'm now on my 3rd pair of real socks and I'm loving it. Thank you for your warm welcome on your podcast. Such a joy. Christine, you're very welcome. I'm so happy to send this to you. Very glad you got over your fear of heels and toes, but I also think yoga socks sound pretty cool. Please email me and I will be sure to get this out to you as soon as possible. Congrats to the winners. So happy to have you all here with me as always. Comment below anything you'd like, because I love hearing from you, and come back and visit with me again soon. It's been lovely to be here. Happy December. I'll see you soon. Mwah. Bye for now.